I was just realizing I'm going to make noises.
The last one didn't have noises.
Okay, and actually no noises. Oh my gosh, I'm going to pass out. Hi, I'm Venk.
And I'm Jaya.
And this is the Reality Hate episode 7, where we're recapping episode 12 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. However,
Yes.
Jen and I have come up with a fun and fantastic idea where we talk about other franchises and have quick thoughts. We're going to pick the Real Housewives of Orange County because they just finished their latest season. Jill, what is your fresh take on a character, a cast member, or an individual?
I feel like there are cast members that need to go. Kelly Dodd. She really did herself in this season. She was offensive, obnoxious. I normally like what she has to say. She's outspoken and she makes me laugh. But like this season, I liked nothing that came out of her mouth.
I have to agree with you. I think she's a relic of the past. And when I mean past, she's a relic of January 20th, 2017 to January 20th, 2020. Have a nice day, Kelly.
Bronwyn drives me crazy. I can't stand her. I've never liked her on the show. I don't care that she made a shift this season. I felt like she lied about everything. She talked about everyone. Her activism didn't make up for it.
I just want to say, worst queer representation ever. Besides Caitlyn Jenner, but like really, LG of the alphabet mafia, she and Caitlyn take the cake. Shall we get into episode 12, which I thought was going to be the season finale? It's not. We have one more episode.
One more episode.
My apologies to our audience members. Take it away, Jaya.
So we start off the episode with Jen getting ready in her room with her new clothes. Then we move on quickly to little montages. Lisa and Meredith cheersing. Lisa to being a professional race car driver who goes 70 miles an hour.
Love it, living.
Lisa and Meredith discuss that they are glad that they got an apology from Whitney and they're ready to move on and they feel good about it.
Meredith and Lisa and Whitney kind of come out looking really good.
Everyone comes out looking good in this episode, but Jen, shocked.
And we would know more about Mary if Mary was ever
if Mary was on the episode, but she was only on again for 2 minutes. And I do want to touch on her ET interview where she says people want more of her. We'll get to that.
Yeah. Don't forget Andy Cohen. Don't forget watch what.
Oh, and then there's Andy Cohen. Then Jen joins dinner. So Meredith and Lisa are the first to get to dinner, and then Jen joins in and sits down and asks how it went and how was the racetrack, and she's hoping for really juicy details, hoping that they attacked Whitney and they made her feel so bad. And they're like, it went really well. She apologized and we're okay with it. Everything is okay.
Love.
And Jen cannot handle it.
No.
Because in Jen's world, there are sides to everything, right? She looks at life as a competition and everybody needs to be on Jen's side and fall in line with Jen, as we've said before. So she reacts badly to it. And
wait, Jen reacting badly to something? You're making the face. You're making the Jen. Never.
So she just keeps talking about how she's upset. You know, they said, well, we're okay with her apologizing and we're good now.
She could literally not compute that.
She couldn't understand it. And she was like, I don't understand how you're okay with it. And they're like, well, what is there not what should we not be okay with? And she's like, well, she lied and said that you guys said this. And she was like, well, no, she never lied. She just came to you and said this information and it was, inappropriate timing. And she was like, well, I just can't understand. Like, she said it at my husband's party and she ruined my party and whatever. Basically, I threw a glass and threw a temper tantrum because of Whitney.
Jen Shaw, always blaming
victim. Never take. She's delusional. She never takes responsibility. And so then she basically is like, I get it, you're all on Whitney's side. And they're like, what are you talking about? And they're like, that she's like, that's fine, you can be with Whitney, but you're not being my friend then. And basically Lisa's like, I'm not understanding, there are no sides. And Meredith is like, you are not going to tell me who I can and cannot be friends with. I am leaving, I'm not putting up with this, you're not talking to me in an aggressive manner, goodbye. And like
that moment though, like Meredith saying that was like a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
I needed somebody to tell her that it's not Jen's way or the highway.
Right.
Jen's
And
not.
she tries to bully and manipulate people into feeling like they have to side with her. And Heather has done it for a long time. So I think Heather is loyal to a fault. And she comes to that realization.
Yeah. The thing is, Jen is all about loyalty, but she is not a loyal person.
She's a terrible person. She talks about everyone behind their backs.
If you want something, you have to give that thing out, you know?
Exactly. Let me say one thing. That pink dress that Heather had on, Heather Gave's Beauty Lab pink dress. No good friend would let another friend walk out of somewhere purchasing that dress the way it looked.
That's when you know, like, so that's when you know somebody is trying to end your life.
Yes.
You know, like you will allow someone to commit a crime of fashion, you might as well shoot them right between the temple. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Lisa is trying to like calm Jen down, and Jen's like not being reasonable. She's starting to blow up. She's starting to explode, and like
Wait a minute.
she is full blown heading into rage, you know?
Jen heading into rage?
Never. What? It was such a shocker. And then
surprising woman.
I mean, right? So Meredith is gone. They're kind of like up. Jen is getting ready to storm out, and Lisa's like, no, like calm down. Like, let's figure this out. What are you exploding about? Like, I'm not clear. We are okay with Whitney. If you are not, that's okay. Let's work it out. That's what this dinner is for. And Whitney and Heather walk in like, oh, like, hey guys, like, how is everybody? Ready for a nice dinner? And Jen is like,
you're the reason that this is all happening, and you've ruined my life, and I'm so angry at you, and you ruined my husband's party.
And she is like gonna go for Whitney. Like,
what she's doing is she's pretending like she's gonna get physical. The problem is, guarantee 100%, like I was right the last episode, Jen Shah doesn't have the guts to hit anybody. Not that you should be violent, and not that violence is a reflection.
I think she would have hit Whitney if she could have, but like she would have been, I mean, would she be welcome back to the show? Absolutely not.
See, that's why I'm saying it's like bigger bark than bite.
She does like hit Heather. So
yeah, and you know why
well, because Heather was trying to keep her in the.
Yeah, but I also think she looks at Heather like she can and gets away with it.
She can control Heather.
Heather has allowed her to do so, and a lot
right.
of
Heather, it's an abusive relationship. And we see that. Then like Heather sort of steps in and is like, you cannot talk to Whitney this way. You need to control yourself. Like, you're acting inappropriately. So then Jen storms off and then like hits Heather, and Heather's like, whoa, don't hit me. Leaves. Lisa Barlow follows her to try and calm her down, and she's like, you're not my friend. She's like, if I was not your friend, why would I follow you out here and try and like reason with you and get you to come back and work things out? Does not happen. Jen storms off. Lisa comes back to the dinner and she's like, I want to know right now, like, does Jen talk about us? Like, I know she said these things about you. We know Meredith, like, has she said things about me? And she had, right? She had said that Lisa was mad at Whitney and was going to really rip into Whitney once she got her alone. And maybe that was the truth. Maybe that's what Lisa felt like she was going to do.
Yeah.
But then Jen was saying to Whitney, who she was still apparently angry at, like, I'm your friend, I've got your back, don't worry. She's just causing trouble. The girls meet back up in a hotel room to kind of talk about everything while Jen has stormed off to her Shawmazing crew, or whatever she calls it, her Shaw squad.
I don't know what this Shaw squad looks like.
We see bits of them. We see like certain assistants, like that guy, and
That's
and
not a squad.
and who she says she runs deep with. It's like, yeah, you pay them to run deep with you.
That's what I was trying to get. They're not your squad.
You pay them to stick with you. So and everything kind of comes out there, like everybody kind of like reveals what's been said about them by Jen. Like I was a little disturbed that she's constantly said that Whitney would be in the lake behind her house. Like, what?
First of all, the only person that's allowed to talk about real estate on the show is Mary Cosby.
Mary Cosby.
I'm Bill Cosby.
Because she has 13 homes.
13 homes. One in Carmel, Indiana.
That's right. And Las Vegas, where she wasn't present.
We got to see Mary Cosby's house in Las Vegas.
What else comes up in that is obviously the fact that she's talked about Meredith's marriage so much, which I think she has done that because her marriage isn't going well.
Completely true, 100%. But also, like, I love how Meredith nips that shit in the bud.
I mean, she nipped it in the bud. She was like, yeah, we've been separated for a long time, which is what you and I suspected. And she never said. She acted like it was a complete surprise, which was a shock to Lisa, her best friend, who was like, I had no idea they were separated for this long, or that they were seeing other people.
But you know what? You don't tell everything. And
you know what? And that's the one thing. Like Lisa Barlow said she was hurt, but it seemed like they moved past it quickly because there were other things. It's her business to tell. It's her relationship. She wasn't comfortable. Yeah, like she doesn't have to tell her best friend if she doesn't want to.
Meredith Marks does look really good in this episode.
She does. And the eyebrows aren't like overdone.
I mean, finally, Meredith Marks. I mean,
she found her shade, and like her like level of thickness.
If I adore her son, I have to.
I know you love Brooks Marks so much.
Marks is
Cheers to you, Bookmark.
Cheers to you. Anybody that could make somebody so spicy as Brooks Marks, because he's just got commentary, has to be fabulous. We just got to tone down the eyebrows, Meredith.
Yes, but Meredith is my favorite.
I like Lisa Barlow too.
Yeah, she's really grown on me this season. At the end of the conversation, Heather is like, I'm going to be your friend no matter what. Like, I am a loyal person. I have been on the other end where I've been abandoned by friends. I'm sticking by her. You guys don't have to. And they're kind of like, yeah, we don't want to. I'm going to continue to be abused. Like,
I am tribute. Or what's the line?
I'm tribute. Yes.
I volunteer as tribute.
I volunteer.
I volunteer as tribute.
I volunteer.
I volunteer as tribute.
And then we get to good old Mary Cosby.
I'm Bill Cosby.
In her 2 minutes on TV.
This time she was back in the closet.
In her 2 minutes on TV. It was back in her hoarder bedroom, hanging out.
It's like watching paint dry.
It's awful. And then her face going.
The thing that, like, because there's nothing important about anything that ever happens to Mary Cosby on the show since we learned she's married to.
We don't ever see her out of the closet.
Some of the clothes she has are straight off the runway immediately, but it's the way in which she puts these beautiful clothes together and accessorizes. You're like, lady.
And where does all the money come from? I'm sorry, I am not convinced it's from her other businesses, which we have heard about on like her ET interview.
Oh, that's why she said that on that interview. She completely is like,
she's afraid people are going to find out that she
stealing money from her church.
And who is she, Vank, of the Real Housewives series? She is
of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's our Joe
Yes, she
Giudice.
is.
I said, here, she's
But that's why
Judas.
she's probably not going to come back because
Well, because she's
but also she has nothing. She has nothing to contribute.
there's going to be some tax evasion. There's going to be some fraud. There's going to be a little sprinkle of prison time. And that's going to be the story of Mary Cosby.
I'm Bill Cosby.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
But the one thing I will say about Mary Cosby, 2 minutes on TV, was she was the reasonable one. Like when Lisa Barlow called her to kind of tell her what happened, she was like, yeah, that's why I didn't go. Like I didn't feel like being attacked, and I knew that that's what would happen. and Lisa was like, you are so smart for making the decision not to come.
Meanwhile, they're like, yeah, like let's throw this girl a bone because literally she's on her way out.
We also find out in the ET interview that Venk and I both watched that her housekeeper Charlinda, who she has like gloved, covered because she's a germaphobe, and also receives her food in plastic packaging, like hospital food. That Charlinda's left. As soon as the show aired, she was like,
cousin housekeeper has flown the coop.
I'm glad because she treated her so badly. Her own family, she treated so badly.
As you said in our pre-tape, you were like, I mean, she probably watched herself.
Exactly.
You know what? I'm worth more than this. And Charlinda, you are worth more than this.
Yeah, you are. I'm glad you left. Good for you, Mary Cosby.
Thumbs down.
Please, thumbs down. That's all we see of Mary Cosby.
There's one of these like Danny Zuko. Thumbs down. Joe Giudice, Mary Cosby. Thumbs
down.
Thumbs down.
We get up the next day. It's a new day, and Heather received a text from Jen Shaw saying that she went to the airport and she was like, I'm done.
Is she?
No, she wasn't, because then Heather goes to get her clothing that she purchased for herself in her shopping trip, gifted to her from Jen Shaw. The most amazing shopping
class thing. Low class. You're gonna take somebody on a shopping spree. You best pay for the clothes.
Well, that didn't happen. So Heather knocks on the door, and who's sitting in there but Jen Shaw? Childish little mood, right? Tantrum. I'm leaving. I'm running away. No, I'm not. So she says that her amazing Shaw squad.
You mean your hired interns?
Your hired interns, your paid friends, convince her to stay and stick it out. And Heather tries to reason with her at that point, and she's like, look, you look bad. Everything you did was wrong, and you need to just apologize. And she's like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, Whitney ruined my husband's birthday party. And she's like, so Whitney caused you to throw a glass and, act the way you did. And
Heather's really starting to get in that scene, particularly. I see the shift in Heather.
What was right. And she was right.
Yeah, very much so.
Sticking up for what was right. And she was doing the honest thing.
Yeah.
And being a good friend. She was being a good friend.
I think Jen doesn't know what good friends are because Jen is not a good person.
She doesn't know how to be. Right. And the thing about it is, like, Jen wasn't even in touch with, she couldn't see that what she did was wrong. She just kept saying, like, it's this person's fault and it's this person's fault. And Heather was like, no, the only person that's acting out of control and is acting crazy right now is you, and you need to get it together and apologize.
Word up. Heather finally because we had come from Heather being in that gross tub crying, thinking she's gonna lose Jen. I'm like, good. Sometimes if a friend like throws you away and they're bad friends, that's a good thing. Trust me, I know this. Trust me. However the toxicity leaves, it is gone. And
That's right.
Winner.
Right? We're too old. We know too much.
Hello.
So then they end up, so then the other three girls don't know that Jen's still there. They think she's gone. They're going to this healer that apparently Phaedra
Kimberly
went to from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Okay,
For all of you people who don't know, Phaedra was a character on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So they go to this healer.
Okay, but can we talk about Kimberly's house?
Yes.
This whole house of cultural appropriation. I mean, it was like Karen's Chinese lower back tattoo. That's basically what Kimberly's home looked like, but continue.
Then they get there and they're like they sit down. It's Jen, Whitney, and Lisa, and they're going to be hypnotized and just be put into a state of relaxation. All of a sudden, the doorbell rings in the middle of their hypnotizing, and Heather and Jen show up, and all of their faces drop.
Like, and Jen came in wearing that jumpsuit when she should have been wearing a straitjacket.
Yeah, well, it was a little too tight on the I mean, did you see that? I was like, you're top. Like, that jumpsuit's too tight.
Those buttons were like,
they were like, I mean, I don't know how she was breathing. So then she sits down at the table. She's not participating. She's like keeping her eyes open. She's not meditating. And the healer basically stops and is like, I'm feeling some weird energy from you. And she's like, yeah, we had an issue and, so that's what you're feeling. There was a blow up last night. So they kind of move to sit down at a couch to kind of sit and talk about it all.
I love though how we get to that little game that Kimberly wants to play called Raise Your Hand. Hate this.
You think this person is awful. Well, so basically Jen
What kind of healer is Kimberly? Wait a minute. What kind of healer is Kimberly?
I think she
is the bad kind.
I like those kind of healers.
She reminds me of the one
oh, you mean you have a bad marriage and your husband's going to leave you.
Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer's The Show. What was that show?
Medium.
The Medium. The Medium is based off of her. They sit down and Jen kind of like, she lets Jen basically like talk about her feelings, and she's like, I'm a loyal friend, and like, you guys all attacked me, and like, I didn't do anything wrong, and what Whitney did hurt me, hurt my family, and I am always a good friend to everyone, so you can treat me like this, but like, I didn't do anything wrong. And Meredith is like, I find it ironic that you're saying this when I know that you've been talking about my marriage. And every single person here has told me that you talked about my marriage. So that's not being a good friend. And she like didn't know what to say. And Meredith was also like, I don't get angry very easily, and you don't want to see me angry.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, I like that. Meredith energy. Meredith getting mad energy is exactly
Meredith is done. I mean, I think Meredith and Lisa are done being Jen's friend.
No,
so Jen didn't know what to say, so she just started saying, I'm sorry. And the healer keeps like interrupting, like, stop explaining yourself. Just say you're sorry. You're so sorry. Say you're sorry. So it's like not working.
First of all, are we at a healer or are we at a boot camp?
But it was so good because she was just checking Jen. Like, enough. We don't need to hear your explanation. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You need to just say you're sorry. So from that, we have the exercise of, let's play the game, raise your hand.
I would hate being in that game. Let's go around and who's the cutest gay guy in West Hollywood? I'm in the room. And I'm like, well, it's not going to be me.
Oh, it would be you.
Of course it would be me. Because
So-
I would be the only minority there. They have to raise their hand.
So
Racist if we don't. You would.
they basically go around to like Lisa, Meredith, Whitney, everybody trusts, right? Then they go to Jen and they're like, how many of you don't trust Jen? And everyone's like, and she's like, this is so hurtful. Whitney's like, can I raise my legs? So do you have a poll? I can get all four of them.
Oh, Whitney would have gotten on the pole,
Right?
and raised her legs for that.
So then it's like, okay, now how many of you don't trust Heather? What does Jen do? Raises her hand. Heather has been nothing but a good friend to her, and Jen raises her hand. Why? Because she's attacked and she thinks she can beat up on Heather.
And she can't.
No. And so by the end of it, we're basically like left with like the fact that she is not willing to own up to her mistakes, own up to the fact that she's been horrible to everyone, that she is not a good friend to anyone. Everybody basically does not want to be her friend anymore. She's like lost friendships. Meredith, Lisa, obviously Whitney, and Heather's kind of on her way out.
Yeah, but it's weird because they're still liking each other's Instagram posts.
Oh. They are on the show together, so maybe they work things out. It happens.
I mean, that was a fantastic recap.
Jen's confessionals are painful to watch because she basically sits in those confessionals and says like, I'm a loyal friend. I'm good to everyone. I am honest. I don't lie. Yeah, but then you turn around and we see you talking about everyone and attacking everyone.
You know what? And I want to pile on Jen for a moment since she wants to be evil to everyone else. Can we also say that green suit she was wearing was like, come on, J-Lo did that in 2000 in that Versace dress. And she also did it again, like as an homage to J-Lo. She did it an homage to herself. You, Jen Shah, can't do an homage to J-Lo. You are not a girl's girl.
Trying to be other people, like Beyonce and J-Lo.
Okay? You're a mean girl and you treat Heather bad.
Mean. So anyway, that's the end. Next week, we'll see what happens. The one thing I'm excited about in next week's episode is seeing Meredith's outfit at the beauty lab opening because she's wearing like chainmail on her face.
There's, you know what? Sometimes a chainmail moment can give you all sorts of like fabulousness.
Not in this way. No.
Not in this way.
So anyway, that's it.
That's it. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 7 of the Reality Hate. Let's give some shout outs to some of our fans.
Yes, I would like to thank my friend Janine Zalduendo because she watches every episode and she enjoys it and I love her and she's amazing.
And
she's amazing.
But she's not Shaw-mazing.
She's not Shaw-mazing.
No. And I'd like to thank my dear friend Azia Long for coming along on the ride with us. You are sweet and thank you so much for your support.
Yes, we love you guys.
Love you guys. And I'm Venk.
And I'm Jaya.
And this is the Reality Hate. And we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Can we start fresh? How about you start?
Sure.
Okay, start.
Blackwater. We like it.
So good.
Quenches that thirst.
So good.